Okay. Dear Ivy, you have made portraits of modern martyrs from Nazi-era Berlin. Would you like to tell us something about that?
Sure. These portraits started out as a project that Michael personally wanted to see through. He has 20 martyrs picked out for this entire project, and every year we'd like to create two, one male, one female, ideally. And yeah, that's basically it for that. A lot of it is very much like this project, and I'm mostly executing his vision.
Okay. Thank you. I was particularly struck by the fact that the pictures have a very sparing, almost pop art-like treatment of lines and surfaces. To what extent is this mode of representation related to the persons depicted?
Uh, yeah, so that was a very interesting choice. So we started the process with me replicating each portrait by hand with pencil before it kind of went into pen, and then every iteration became more and more reduced as Michael sort of saw what he wanted to see. And I feel like he had the vision to sort of show as much of the martyr without seeing so much, which I find pretty interesting.
If we come back to the pop art, the portraits of Liechtenstein and Wall, for example, are deliberately based on the iconic nature of both advertising and press portraits, both of which quote the religious icon. Do you see your portraits in this context?
Yes and no. What's interesting about the marketing aspect is that it doesn't take very much for us to recognize Andy Warhol's soup can. If we just see a certain red shape and a certain white shape put together with like gray, and we don't even need the words to recognize it. And I find that very interesting. Um, that would be really cool to sort of emulate for these particular people due to their sacrifices. However, I feel like there could be some what am I trying to say here? There is some importance in recognizing a martyr for who they are. And I feel like as a outsider coming into Berlin, I would not know who they are, even if I saw their faces. And so I feel like there needs to be um additional weight put behind it beyond just the visual. The Campbell soup can is on its own very iconic, but I feel like for the period and the era and everything that came out alongside of it is what elevated the soup can from just a soup can to something that persisted through half a century.
The the wonderful portraits Ivy Lee is doing, they are connecting us with, in principle, with a very sad time in Germany. So the people she shows are called martyrs, which is a little bit a big word. With martyrs, it simply means they've been in resistance to the regime at that time, in resistance to the Nazi regime, and Ivy created them in a very interesting way, a little bit like with using pop art ways. She didn't use a lot of lines. She just used the ones who were most important. And so I like them very much. They are very clear, and it shows the clearness of them. We've selected here two wonderful ladies, and we selected two wonderful men, which we want to show here, and very much appreciate this.